Hey love, it's Angelica, aka Angie B, and welcome to my channel. If you are new, my name is Angelica. I post a bunch of videos about growing your natural hair, a little bit of skincare and makeup here and there when it's requested. So if that seems like something that you might be interested in, consider subscribing. The subscription button is right down there, as well as the bell icon, which just ensures that you guys get notifications every single time I post. Let's get straight into the video. In today's video, we are talking about rice water. Now I know that you guys love my rice water videos. I have quite a few of them, so I won't be talking about things I've talked about before. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to use rice water the correct ways to keep your hair growing long, strong, and healthy and not break. And the form of this video I'm going to do is basically I'm going to answer all your burning questions. I have done tons of rice water videos, so in this video I won't be showing you how to make it. I will link it at the end of this video and in the description box. So if you want to see exactly how I make it, my exact recipe, then make sure you check that out. The reason why the rice is still in this container is because it's still fermenting, so I've left it in here. I just wanted to show you my rice water. But if you guys want to see exactly how I make it, I have already made more than one video on that, so I'll link them in the description box below. And if you want to see me actually spraying it into my hair as well, that's all in the other video. In here, I'm focusing on the questions I get over and over and over again on the same videos that I've done. So hopefully one of your questions will be answered in this video today, so stay tuned. There will be 10 questions and one of them could be yours. So the first question I am asked the most about rice water is, how long should I keep it in? This doesn't matter when you're putting it in or how you're using it as a leave-in, as a deep conditioner or whatever. I always get asked this question. How long should I leave the rice water in my hair? My personal recommendation is 30 minutes to 1 hour, depending on how your hair reacts to it. You will know the perfect time yourself, which means you can try both and see how your hair reacts to it. I know sometimes I've tried to go overnight with it and stuff like that, but I do know that keeping rice water in your hair for too long because of the starch and the protein, especially if your hair is sort of protein sensitive like mine, it can have long-term effects. So it might not affect you now, but in the long term it could. So 30 minutes to an hour would be an ideal time to leave the rice water in your hair. The second rice water question is something that's asked to me all the time, not everyone, because the way I make my rice water, I always add in peppermint oil and tea tree oil. I don't add orange peels or stuff like that, so I don't get those kinds of questions really. But for this one, do you need to use peppermint or tea tree oil? The answer is no. It's just an added thing that I like to add because I like the way peppermint feels in my hair, and it has amazing growth properties. It is very stimulating on your scalp, and tea tree oil also prevents itching and bacteria. And when you're using something that ferments, it's good to use something like that. But do you need it? No, it is just a personal choice. The third question is something similar to this one, which people usually ask after I say, no, you don't need peppermint or tea tree oil. You can see those in the comments. And this is, can I use any oil for my rice water? Like the same way I put in a couple drops of tea tree and peppermint, can I add another oil? I would only suggest you add an essential oil because you only need to add a couple drops and it really doesn't change the formula. But I wouldn't recommend adding something like a carrier oil, which could be almond oil, coconut oil, avocado oil, any kind of carrier oil I would not suggest. I would, however, suggest that after you put the rice water on your hair, you follow up with one of those carrier oils to seal everything in your hair and keep it nice and soft. That I recommend, but mixing it in the rice water, I only recommend essential oils. Now, my top two, again, are tea tree and peppermint, but you can also add rosemary oil, lavender oil, which will actually help it smell better. I don't recommend citrus oils because I personally don't like them, but if they work for you, go ahead and add that. And you can add any other essential oils, which are always highly concentrated and come in little bottles. You can drop in a couple drops into your rice water. That would be amazing. But carrier oils, no. The fourth question is something I referenced a little bit again. Do I need to put orange or lemon peels into my rice water? Does it make it more effective? From what I hear, the Yao women originally actually did use orange peels in their rice water. I just choose not to because, again, I don't want to deal with any long-time effects and I'm like, oh, what was going on? I choose not to use any citrus in my hair. If you would like to use it, I see lots of people have amazing benefits and they say it works well for their hair. So that is actually a personal choice. I wouldn't say don't use orange peels or use them. That is 100% up to you. The fifth question I get asked a lot is, how long should my rice water ferment? And I know people always get confused with this one, so I had to include it. How long do you need to keep your rice water to ferment? And by that, I mean the water and the rice still being in it. Now, what I recommend is 24 to 48 hours. And I always say depending on the weather, because where I am right now, it is very hot. So if I leave this for 24 hours, it's going to ferment. And the way to tell if it's fermented is it usually has little bubbles on the top. Like it looks fermented and it kind of smells fermented. To me, the smell is not that bad, but I also have a really bad sense of smell. And I put peppermint in tea tree, so it really smells fine to me. But to other people, they think the smell is so bad. So again, that's a personal thing. But how long to ferment it? When it's hot like it is right now, I would leave it for 24 hours. If it's a cooler time, I would leave it for 48 hours. And if it is extremely cold where you are, I suggest you keep it in a dark cupboard in a room like the kitchen where it's naturally a little bit warmer, and 48 hours should be done. And then your rice water will be done. You take the rice out and you can decant the remaining water in it. Next, most commonly asked question about rice water is, where do I store it? Now, where you store your rice water is in the fridge. And the reason why you want to do that is because as soon as you put the rice water in the fridge, it stops fermenting. You don't want the rice to continue fermenting and fermenting, because it's just going to basically be rotten and it won't have that much effects, or it might still have enough effects for your hair, but it might just smell so bad that you won't want to put it in your hair, and you don't want that. So what you do is take the rice out, like I said, don't store it with the rice in it. Decant this, you can just pour it out and leave the rice in, or you can strain it or use a cheesecloth, whatever you want. Get all the rice out, keep it in the fridge, and depending on how you want to use it, you can just keep it in the fridge for about a week or 10 days, even up to 2 weeks. It just depends on maybe the rice that you're using. You can always tell just by looking at the rice and smelling it. It will look kind of different or smell kind of different, and you know that it's gone bad. But usually about 10 days to 2 weeks is a good time frame to keep it in the fridge. The 8th question I get asked all the time about rice water that you need to know is, can I use rice water in my hair if it's in braids or if it's in twists or any other protective hairstyle? The answer is yes and no. No, because you don't want to spray it like a leave-in conditioner, like all the time, just spraying it, unless you're doing some kind of like 10-day challenge where you spray it in your hair every day like I did, and then you rinse it out at the end of the 10 days. That's a whole different thing, which is like a one-time thing you do maybe in a year or a couple of months. It's not something you do all the time. But what I would suggest is you can use the rice water in your hair if it's in a protective style like braids, twists, or a wig or cornrows. But I would only suggest you do this on the day of washing your hair, or if your hair likes keeping it overnight, which I'm not suggesting, you can do it the night before. But I would suggest maybe as soon as you wake up in the morning, spray your hair, like saturate it in the rice water, and then after an hour, you can go and wash your hair and just do your regular normal routine, condition, because I still do that even when my hair is in protective styles. So no, don't spray it like a leave-in and just continue to spray it throughout the weeks and leave it. But yes, on the day when you're washing your hair, which will most likely be 2 or 3 times in your protective style, depending on how long you leave it in your hair. So if you wash your hair every week or every other week, you can do like a little pre-poo with this in your hair and then rinse it out when you do the rest of your wash day routine. The 9th question that I get asked all the time, I guess it's confusing, maybe I didn't realize, but people always ask, should I wash the rice water out? Yes, because I think when I say you can leave it in your hair for an hour or 30 minutes, I guess it could translate as leave it in your hair for 30 minutes and then go ahead and do your styling routine. No, after the 30 minutes to an hour, you need to wash it out. So if it's a pre-poo or a deep conditioner or a rinse after and everything like that, my next rice water video is actually going to be on 3 different ways you can use rice water for maximum hair growth. So if you're interested and you might want to see that, remember to subscribe. Again, the button is right down there, and hit the bell so you get the notification when I post that video, and give this video a thumbs up so I know that you want that next video. But anyway, yes, absolutely. However you're using the rice water in your hair, when it stays for the specific time you're supposed to leave it in that you choose, you rinse it out and then go ahead and do whatever you normally do, whether it's deep condition or style or whatever. The 10th question about rice water is, how often should I use it? Can I use the rice water every day, or what is the best recommended time? Personally, I suggest once a week or twice a month, which means every week when you do your wash day routine, you would use the rice water in whatever form you choose. Or you can use the rice water every other week. So one week you can just do your normal routine without the rice water, and then the next week you use it, and so it will come to twice a month. Also, if your hair is like very, very sensitive to protein, or just, first of all, if your hair doesn't like rice water, find something else. I always say that nothing works for every single person. If it doesn't work for you, you can try it every other week, then you can try it once a month, and if it doesn't work for you, give it up, try aloe vera, try something else. Something else is gonna work for you. If it works for you, but only once in a while, you can do it once a month, I think is a good time frame, because you do want to see progressive results. It's like working out. You might not see it if you're working out like for a whole week straight. You're working out and you're just like, I look the same. It's kind of the same with treatments for your hair, like deep conditioning and rice water and all these kinds of things that you need to put together. I would suggest you try every other week, once a month, or every week, depending on what your hair likes. So if you have paid attention to this video a lot, the bonus tip is do what your hair likes. So I might say you only have to do this once a week, or you only have to do this once a month, but your hair likes it in a different way. Or I say make sure you follow up with an oil, and your hair doesn't like it when you follow up with an oil. These are just the questions I get most asked, and hopefully I answered them for you. If I didn't answer your question, please comment in the comment section below, because I answer every single positive or comment in the comment section below. I always love to help you guys, and I'm so grateful for all of you who have subscribed so far. My face is right there to subscribe if you didn't at any other point. Also, watch the 2 videos on the side of the screen right here if you'd like to see any of my other videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.